One of the problems that some people have with my videos is that they think because I say a lot of negative things about this realm, that means that I won't be able to come up with solutions, or I'm not focusing on solutions. What I'm focusing on is complaining. What they're not realizing is that we're not just living in a world that is fundamentally flawed. We live in a world that was fundamentally designed to trap us. If we live in a world that was, flawed, I mean, nothing is perfect. Of course, it would be best to focus more on fixing it, right? The problem is that this world was fundamentally designed to keep us trapped. This world is actually a prison planet. So you can tell yourself that, the world is just flawed, we need to be strong, we need to find solutions. That's good. The problem is that all the things that are wrong with life are actually supposed to be there. Meaning that this world was designed to be exactly what it is. It was designed to be a prison. The problem is that we don't want to admit that to ourselves. The prison planet theory it's very fascinating. The idea that we are actually prisoners here. I mean, we don't want to think that. That doesn't make us feel good, thinking that we're actually prisoners here. But everything tells us that. We live in a world where we are being told that we're brought here for a good reason. Life is precious. We must be fruitful and multiply. You know what I'm saying? We must be hard workers, work for the system, not really question anything. We must focus more on learning what this world wants to teach us than to ask questions. Asking questions is actually taboo. Once you start asking real questions, that's when the matrix is like, nah, you gotta be punished. It's obvious that this world is not what it seems, and it's not what we've been told it is. It's actually something much worse. And it's up to us to, figure out what is really going on, because whatever trapped us here won't tell us what is going on. Whatever trapped us here is not going to be like, let me apologize. I was wrong for doing all these horrible things to you. That's not going to happen. You're not going to apologize to a chicken. Do you ever feel like apologizing to a chicken? You're not going to apologize to lower life form. Your ego is too big, and you are not conscious enough to be able to see life from the perspective of any living being that you encounter. So if you see a rat, it's just a rat. You don't even think that it's conscious, and it's having its own experiences, and it has its own it has its own problems, its own desires. its own will. You don't even think that. You'd be like, oh, that's just a rat. Let me kill it. And you won't even think, after killing it, you won't even think about that. You just look at it as an obstacle that you were able to get rid of. That's it. You're not going to be like, gosh, but it was a living being and that was born and that experienced life. You know what I'm saying? So you can't expect the beings that are controlling this reality to be like, oh, we're sorry. I'm sorry, Joan. I'm sorry that you had to suffer your whole life. I'm sorry that your wife left you. When you were a hardworking man, you were trying to do your best to take care of your family, and somehow she still didn't feel like that was enough. Somehow she still didn't feel like you were good enough for her. Somehow she still felt like she could do better. So she left you, and now you're depressed. Now you think about it all the time, and it doesn't make any sense to you that that will happen, because you know what you had to go through to feed your family. So the way that she treated you doesn't make any sense to you. Like, you're confused. You're not just traumatized, you're actually confused. These beings that control this reality ain't gonna apologize to you for that. That's what they want. That is why there's so much suffering in the world. It's because that is exactly what they want. They're not gonna apologize to you for growing up in a family where everyone was mistreating you. No one understood you. You were the black sheep of the family. They always thought you were the one who was wrong. You were blamed for everything. You were never shown love. You don't know what it's love to be. You don't know what it's like to be loved by a mother, what it's like to be loved by a father, what it's like to be loved by a sister, what it's like to be loved by a brother, what it's like to be loved by a neighbor. Like, you never got to experience that. You grew up experiencing what it's like to not be loved by your neighbor, what it's like to not be loved by your mother, what it's like to not be loved by your father. You know what I'm saying? These beings ain't gonna apologize to you. They don't care. They don't even take you that seriously. So it's up to you to set yourself free. You can't be giving your power away or expecting someone else to come and save you. In fact, every person that you interact with, you should be suspicious of. Every person. Not just humans, but everything in general. Like, be suspicious of everything. As long as it belongs to the matrix, be suspicious of it. Like, you can't think that anything is on your side here. Really, the only one that you can trust in the matrix is yourself. You're literally the only one that you can trust. Every other living being can be bought. The strongest people that you think they are really standing up for the truth and nothing can make them change, they can betray you. Any person in the matrix can be bought. So you must only trust yourself. Any person in the matrix can be controlled. That is why you must trust yourself. In fact, it's better to look at life as if you are the only soul that is trapped in the matrix. Like, you are the last soul that needs to wake up. This reminds me of the movie Vanilla Sky, starring Tom Cruise. I must watch that movie again. It's an old movie. So this guy was stuck in a dream, machine-generated dream. In the real world, he got involved in a car accident that messed up his face. It felt like it can't go on like that. So it's like, you know what, man, there are no surgeons that can reconstruct my face right now, but maybe 10 years from now there will be. So I want to remain alive for another 10 years. So is there technology that can uh, preserve my body and I don't age? I just stay like this until they find a doctor that can actually fix my face. But like, yeah, it's possible. And what's interesting is that there's a machine that can generate any kind of dream that you want. So if you want to have a dream where you are rich, you can have that dream and you're not going to know that it's a dream. If you want to have a dream where you are a celebrity, everyone in the world loves you, you can have that kind of dream. You're not going to know it's a dream. You know, like you can have a dream where everything is going your way. Things never go too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you will see horrible things happening to other people and you'll be like, what the heck is going on? You know, it'll feel like the universe is on your side. And he's like, oh. But things went wrong and dude was stuck in a dream that he felt was real. Whatever he turned to trash. You know, he suffered a lot and it didn't make any sense to him until the people who work for the company was like, you know what, man, let's help this dude because this is a nightmare. You know, let's go inside his dream and convince him to wake up because we can't just unplug him. He has to be the one who makes the conscious choice to wake up. So they went into the dream and actually told him that, yo, man, every person that you see here is actually not real, including yourself. You're not real. It's a dream. It's a consciousness that is experiencing this. So everything is actually not real. Everything is generated by the machine. It's like, nah, man. But the guy ended up being able to convince him and he woke up. So it's best to look at reality that way so that no one is going to confuse you. You know, you have to take your power back. If you give your power away, this realm is going to confuse you completely. You are the one who needs to tell yourself what the real truth is. Especially because you have this deep desire to wake up, right? You don't know what are other people's desires. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if Benedictine is not an agent in the matrix and is not here to confuse you. You know, he speaks so much truth. What if he's here to confuse you? You know what I'm saying? So you take your own thoughts more seriously than you take other people's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I heard what Benedictine said, but I think my thoughts are more important. My truth is final. Look at life as if you are the only soul that needs to be saved. You are the only soul trapped in the matrix. Because that actually makes sense. I mean, this reality is too damn absurd for us to think it's real and it's something serious. What is happening is not really something serious. It's all absurd, but it's causing you a lot of suffering, and that is the problem. You know, it's something that is too damn absurd for your soul. It's like you're being disrespected. You know, like you're being made to experience nonsense. Like you're a highly conscious being that wants to have beautiful experiences that make sense, but instead you're being made to experience true nonsense. You know. It's like you are being trolled, basically. That you are actually being trolled. When you look at the way that reality works, it seems that way, you know. You are being shown absolute nonsense. It's like a prank. Or when someone is trolling you online, it's the same. It has no meaning just BS after BS. Like when you wake up in the morning, it's everything that you experience is actually BS, you know. And it doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation for it. And the reason why there's no explanation is because, well, there isn't. Really, the real truth is that you are supposed to be trapped. That's it. Everything that's happening is happening so that you will remain trapped. It's not like there's meaning. There's meaning behind your imprisonment. Like, yeah, yes, I'm supposed to be growing, you know. So I keep on coming here so I can grow, or I'm experiencing the experiences that I'm having, you know, so that I can grow and all of that. It has nothing to do with growth. It has nothing to do with meaning. It has everything to do with keeping you here, with keeping you in a low state of consciousness. It's best to look at reality that way, because think about it, man. Why shouldn't you look at it that way if you don't have the answers to the questions that are really important to you? You know? You deserve the answers. You might think that if you knew the truth, life wouldn't be interesting. I mean, you don't know the truth, and it's not like life is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Life is hell. What's making it hell is that you don't actually know the truth. Because if you knew the truth, you actually know how to set yourself free. The real problem here is that this is a world that was created to keep you trapped. It is not a world that was created for you to thrive and be happy. That is why happiness is rare, and for most people it seems impossible. And if you're only going to look at your own experience, you'll be like, have I actually been happy? Or maybe the time when I was happy was the time when I was being programmed. Maybe it's the time when my spark was divine, because, you know what I'm saying, I was still new, you know, but now I've experienced a lot of nonsense that I'm dead now, you know what I'm saying? Like, this world corrupted me somehow, so that is why I'm the way that I am. And most of the things that be making us happy ain't even good. So, like, things that be making you happy are things that are good. What will make you happy is you, and for a while, actually. It's not like you're gonna be happy forever. It's you doing better than others. Like, how should that be good? Why should that make you happy? You can see that will cause suffering for others, right? If you live in a world where to find happiness is to do better than others, is to have more than what others have, you know, you find that everyone else is broke and they're starving, and you have everything that a person can want, and that's what makes you happy. You see that it's a trap. How can that be a good thing? How can that be a meaningful thing? So that means that if you don't have much, you gotta work as hard as you can to have what you need. But that means that a lot of people ain't gonna have what they need. In fact, you're not just gonna have what you need, you're gonna have more than what you need. You're gonna have what others should have. So you're gonna have what you need to have and what others need to have. That's what's gonna make you happy. That's why we have billionaires that ain't even willing to give someone a cent, you know? People who are poor, people who are not well off, people who don't have much, when they look at people who are rich, and like if they have rich relatives, for an example, it doesn't make sense to them that these rich relatives ain't helping them. But you don't understand how we were programmed. Find that there's this rich relative who's buying cars every month, like very expensive cars. There's a relative that like so this rich relative of yours is buying cars every month. We're talking about a person who's really rich, and there's you. You don't have money to pay for tuition fee. You don't have money to even buy food when you you're still at college. Can't even pay for your rent really. Like you have to struggle, and they seem to be throwing money around. You even hate them, but if you were them, you probably will be doing the same. It's how we've been programmed. It's like when life blesses us too much, we forget about those that is not blessing, and we can't really change it about ourselves. It's a hell realm, bro. Like once people start making it, they don't care about those who are not making it. A lot of people who are rich will tell you that now they hang out with rich friends, bro. Like broke people are gonna hold you back. I've listened to a lot of rich people say that. Snoop Dogg, Jay, you know what I'm saying? Like Jay, these people will tell you that he ain't helping them. People that you grew up with, people that you started this business with, he's on top, bro. It's not even easy to access, you know. Now he's chilling with the big boys. Those are his friends now. So it's how it is, man. If your friends start doing way better than you, start making real money, he's gonna change. He's gonna wanna meet new people who are making the kind of money that he's making. He's gonna go to expensive clubs, you know what I'm saying? Way expensive clothes, and he ain't even gonna help you. If you're chilling with him, he will probably buy you alcohol and food, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's not really gonna help you in a way that's gonna change your life. That's how we're programmed. I mean, it does happen sometimes, yes, but in general, it doesn't. So, of course, in unusual cases, it does happen that someone makes it and they want to help you. I remember I told you about Eminem, that Eminem told his friends from Detroit that, yo, man, if I do this, if I make it, don't worry, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And he made it. He didn't need the guys that he was rapping with. When like he had a crew, like the D12 crew, he didn't need D12. M didn't need D12 at all. D12 needed M, but he helped them. He helped them. So it's rare, but it does happen sometimes. But in general, it doesn't. So we are wired to do things that cause more suffering in this realm, especially when we are in a position to do things that affect a lot of people. If you're a manager of your company, the decisions that you make affect a lot of people. If you're a boss, the decisions that you make affect a lot of people. If you're a school principal, the decisions that you make affect a lot of people. If you're a minister, the decisions that you make affect a lot of people. If you're a premier, the decisions that you make affect a lot of people. If you're a president, the decisions that you make affect a lot of people. If you're a celebrity, the things that you say, the way that you behave, that's going to affect a lot of people. So you're not supposed to be very selfless. Like, life is going to make it difficult for you to be selfless or to connect with people, with regular people. So you're going to be making decisions that are going to be causing more harm. That's how it is. So look at life as if you are the only soul here, as if you are the only consciousness here that needs, not necessarily needs to be saved, but that needs to save itself. Like the only soul that needs to awaken. Forget about other people. Forget about convincing your mother that this is a matrix. Forget about that. Forget about convincing your friends. You are the only one who needs to be convinced that this is some kind of a matrix, and it wasn't created for your benefit. It was actually created for you to be trapped and not evolve and there's no one else to save you except yourself, meaning that you need to think right. You need to stay away from things that are making it hard for you to evolve, right? To realize what is going on. You need to stay away from these things and focus on things that are making it easy for you to evolve. That's it. Because what the heck is this really? And everything about it is weird. Everything, bro. I'm not sure if the camera is picking up on the moon. Like, what the heck is that thing, bro? It's there almost every day. It's just there. What the heck is it? You know what I'm saying? Isn't it weird that there's a moon that you can't even go there? You just have to see that thing, wondering what it is. Clouds. The sky, it looks blue, bro. What is it? We have different theories about what the sky is. Some people will say it's water. It's funny. Actually, the sky is water. Some will tell you that the moon is a hologram. It's not even a place where you can land. It's actually a hologram. But all of that is weird. There are people who have went there. You see how far it is? By just looking at it like that, that's far. But somehow some people went there. I mean, sometimes it doesn't look like it's far. But when you're looking at it now, you'll be like if you had a gun, it would be like you can shoot it. No, but it's crazy. Like, reality doesn't even make sense, and the reason why it doesn't make sense is so that you'll remain confused. The more confused you are, the harder it would be for you to wake up. Now they're telling us that there is this interstellar object called 3 Atlas. NASA isn't saying anything. You know, the people that you are the ones who are supposed to be telling you something about it, they ain't even saying much. You know? The person that was interviewed on the Joe Rogan Experience, it's just, I think he's a professor. You know? He's just a professor. Not someone who works for NASA. None of them have come out and say, yo, 3 Atlas is actually a comet. Because they're the ones who have the real technology that can actually detect this thing and figure out what it really is, right? But now they don't care. They're quiet. So none of this makes sense. In fact, the fact that they can even detect this object doesn't even make sense. And you want to tell me this is not a prison? It is. It's something. It has to be confusing. History doesn't make sense. You think about the pyramids, like, how the heck build that? Aliens. It has to be aliens. Of course it has to be aliens. I mean, we can't think that we build that, especially way back. So really, all of this is supposed to be confusing because it's a prison. It's a prison for consciousness itself. That is why it's confusing. You have to be, like, what you're experiencing has to confuse you. You see, what consciousness is experiencing has to confuse it. It has to look at things and be like, what the hell is that? Like, that is too damn absurd. Magic, bro. Think about magic. Think about technology. I used to tell people that, and I still think that this is true, that technology is magic. There's this magician or materialist. His name is Oz. I think Oz Perlman. You know, Joe Rogan always want to invite these guys and figure out how they do their tricks. Joe Rogan, I think, unless he can also be bought and allow these guys to lie to us, to his audience. I think he was trying to figure out how the guy performed his tricks, and he couldn't. The guy was performing real magic, but his explanation, he'll come up with a very simple explanation. He'll be like, I've tried 100 times to read people's minds, and actually I don't read minds. I look at the body language and I can figure out what they're thinking. He'll be like, that's BS explanation for what you're actually doing, what you're actually able to do, and that's technology. They'll tell you the internet is this and that, and you're like, I don't know, like the explanation that you're giving me is too simple for what is possible, for what is being done here, right? That guy will ask you to think about a person. He'll be like, yo, think about a random person. It's not even supposed to be a person that you interact with all the time. Think about that person, and he'll have an envelope. And he'll hand you the envelope, and he'll be like, okay, open the envelope. Before you open it, actually, tell me the name of the person that you were thinking about. And you tell him the name, and then you open the envelope, and it's the name. What the hell? And you would tell me that guy got it from just reading someone's body language. Like, no. It's absurd. It's not supposed. It's not possible. So the explanation that they're giving us for technology is BS, right? The explanation they're giving us for phones, like it's just some signals and all of that. I'm not supposed to be talking to someone who lives in America, bro. It's not supposed to be possible. You live in America, I live in South Africa, and we're talking, and you wanna give me some BS explanation? Who even discovered that it's possible? And you'd be like, yeah, because you don't know how it's done doesn't mean that it's man. Let's stop the BS. All of that is supposed to be impossible if the world was what it seems. It's something else, and we need to wake up, right? There are a lot of things that are happening behind the things that are happening that we don't see, that are affecting reality. Everything proves to us that we're in a prison. The fact that we can't even go to the moon. Like, we're very limited. You look at the sky every day. If you're a dog, you just look at the sky every day. If you're a wolf, you just be like, ooh, or looking at the sky, right? But you can't go there. At least humans can buy a ticket for a plane, and you know what I'm saying, at least, but still, that's not enough. So really, you have to focus on waking up, like yourself, than to be relying on other people. They're going to give you BS explanation. Nothing really makes sense. It doesn't make sense that if you have sex with a woman, you produce a child. That's magic, bro. We can try to explain it however we explain it. Hey, a man has a sperm, a woman has an egg. That's what, like, chill. None of it makes sense. The fact that I can talk doesn't even make sense. The fact that when I move my tongue and my lips, I'm able to, create words that other people can understand, that doesn't make any sense. The fact that I can see, the fact that I have eyes, you know what I'm saying? The fact that I was once a baby and I grew, I'm big now. None of that makes sense. And we still want to think this reality is what it seems it's not. The real problem here is that there is so much suffering, so that points to something else, right? We already can see that none of this is real. None of it is real, at least not in the way that we think. But the problem is that we're suffering. So that shows us that it's some kind of a prison. And it's not a prison that is supposed to like rehabilitate us. That was not the point. Nobody getting rehabilitated here. People be getting traumatized, bro. It's trauma after trauma. By the time you make it out of here, you ain't even gonna want to come back. This thing, people saying, yeah, people, you chose to be here and all that, that's complete nonsense. It's people who are privileged who will be saying that. Most of them are people who are privileged, spiritual teachers with a large following. Yeah, you chose to be here. Everybody chose to be here. Nobody forced you to be here. Like, nah, man. Ain't nobody choosing this nonsense. Like, seriously, man. You ain't choosing this nonsense. You can't. I don't think you will even dream of, choosing this. You wouldn't dream of being in a realm where you're totally confused. Because we are confused, man. Like, I'm confused. Everyone is confused. Because we don't have an idea what we are really doing. No purpose, no meaning. There's nothing that we're doing that really makes sense, that actually justifies this. There isn't. It's just nonsense after nonsense, bro. Trauma after trauma. So look at life as if you are the only soul here and it's you who needs to wake up. It's not your brother, it's not your mother, it's not your friends, it's not Benedictine, it's not Donald Trump, it's not Donald Glover, it's not Jay, it's not M, it's not Rihanna, it's not people who are religious, it's not people who are atheists, it's not people who are into New Age spirituality, it's not people who are in a cult, people who are in a Kabbalah tribe. I like those guys in the Kabbalah tribe, man. Like, I don't know, like, they're doing something different. I'm like, yeah, at least they're living, because at the end of the day, man, you can't say you're living life if you're doing things that you're programmed to do and that's it. Like, are you living your life or someone else's life? Like, seriously, is this about you or is this about someone else? Trying to zoom into the moon. I hope I can take this picture. Hey, but it's weird, man. I'm using my S25 Ultra. Like, it can zoom in. Like, the zoom is insane. Maybe I can use this to capture 3i Atlas. Just captured it. Actually, I think this should be my my thumbnail for this video. Let me capture another one. I think this should be my thumbnail for this video. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is probably gonna be the thumbnail. But yeah, man, everything is weird, bro. Everything is weird. And it's weird because it doesn't make sense. It's not like it's weird because like, we just don't really understand what is going on, and that is why everything is weird. Everything is weird because it doesn't make sense. Like, nothing makes sense, so it's gonna be weird to us because we are expecting things to make sense. We're expecting things to mean something, but nothing means anything. Everything is happening so that your soul will be trapped here. And some people might ask, do I even have a soul? Like, why do you say I have a soul? Your soul is consciousness itself. That's it. I'm not saying that there's this thing, when you die, this thing comes out of your body and it flies to heaven. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you have consciousness, and consciousness itself is your soul. It's who you are. And that is what is trapped here. That is being made to experience nonsense. It's not your physical body. Your physical body is part of this. So really, man, it's you or can set yourself free. Like, stop focusing on what other people are doing, what other people are saying. Stop thinking that someone is doing better, better than you, or they're more conscious than you, or anything like that. Think of it as if you are actually the only one who needs to awaken. You don't know what other people are and what they're actually doing. Maybe their job is to confuse you. Maybe even the most conscious people are here to confuse you. So you think of someone who's conscious and like, yeah, they're supposed to teach me something. And you follow them blindly and they confuse you more. You're like, that one is enlightened. I've never seen someone who's as enlightened as this person. And you trust them, but they end up confusing you. Confusing you so much that it just doesn't make any sense to you anymore. That's what's going on here, bro. You do deserve to know the truth. I don't know how many times I've told you that. Like, you deserve the truth. Stop looking down on yourself and be like, yeah, there must be some beings that know the truth and all of that. You deserve the truth, and you are the only one who should tell yourself that. But why? Think about it. Why don't you deserve the truth? You must stop looking at yourself as if you're small, because you are in a realm where you are being controlled, right? So you feel that you're small, and there must be beings that are making decisions for you. There must be beings that are more powerful than you, that are more important than you. Like, you must stop thinking that way. Just because you're not like that powerful or able to do a lot of things that you want to do doesn't mean that you are not something important. Consciousness itself is important, bro. Because you're not even a human. That's another mistake that you're making. Like, I'm a human. No. You are dreaming that you're a human. You can dream that you're a chicken, right? You can be in a simulation or in a matrix where you are a worm. You're not a worm. But your consciousness has been so damn limited that you are a worm in the matrix. It needs to get to a point where you don't even believe anything, bro. Like, you must look at everything as if it's not real. I mean, that's real awakening. Because how do you awaken from a world that is false? It's by realizing that none of it is real, than to let it confuse you too much. Because the more you feel like it's real, the more it confuses you, right? That's it. The more you take it seriously, the more it confuses you. But if you don't take it seriously, then it's not going to confuse you. But like, all of it's made up. All of it. It's like if someone was lying to you, like they were telling you a story that was not real. For you to not be confused by their story, you must realize that it's not real and not take it seriously. If you're going to have more questions, then they're going to confuse you more. They will lie to you more. You see, the more you try to find answers within reality itself, the more confused you become. That's why I don't take science that seriously. You have to pull back and be like, what is this? Why is it the way that it is? And if the answers don't make sense, you're like, I'm pulling back. I ain't gonna take this thing seriously because it's gonna make me crazy. And it will. Because you'll be taking it seriously. You can't take a lie seriously. A lie is a lie and should be treated as such. An illusion is an illusion and should be treated as such. You can't treat an illusion with the same respect as you treat reality. You will have a problem. That is why people who suffer from schizophrenia have a problem, you know? So they will see something that is not real but they treat it as if it's something real. And you'll be like, are you saying that a person who has schizophrenia is experiencing something that's real and something that's not real? I'm saying all of it is not real, but because they are also experiencing something that is less real, or that has less power than what we say is real, and they take it seriously. And I'm using them as an example to show you that it is actually possible to treat a lie as something that is actually important, and that causes you suffering. That makes you confused. That makes you crazy. But if you realize that a lie is a lie, an illusion is an illusion, and you don't take it seriously, and then there's growth. Your job is to realize that this was never real anyway. It was all a lie. It has never been real. It's never been true. But it doesn't seem very obvious, because there are things that you see happening that be confusing you, and you have your own desires. You're like, yeah, even if this is a lie, even if this is an illusion, I'm trying to have good experience here, you know? I ain't trying to see monsters. I might have schizophrenia, but I ain't trying to see monsters. You know, why am I only seeing monsters? Why can't I see what I prefer to see? Why can't I see beautiful things? Why can't I have beautiful experiences? Why can't I have experiences that I enjoy? So because you're experiencing a lot of things that you don't enjoy, you want to experience what you can enjoy. You know what it's like to enjoy something. You have experienced something that you enjoy sometimes. So you're like, yeah, I want to experience that. That desire is what making you feel like this is real. I want to experience that, but none of it is real. It's a lie. You're the only one who's trapped in this matrix, and the only one who actually needs to wake up. And even if that wasn't true, but that's the best way to look at it. Like, who should you wake up? Who should you save? You have that kind of power. People can be ignorant. You can tell people the truth and they still don't listen. We have debated with a lot of people. We have told people things that truly make sense, and they're like, no, that doesn't make any sense. So you know how it is in this realm. You know, people believe lies all the time. People are very easy to manipulate. You know that. We have seen that. You can provide proof for something, but if they're not ready to believe it, they ain't gonna believe it. Even with proof. Like, there could be real proof. Be like, nah, that's nonsense. They'll tell themselves whatever they want to tell themselves. You know, a human is a bullshitting machine, really. Like, you're very good at bullshitting yourself. So really, you can't waste your energy on trying to wake anybody up. They'll wake up when they can. You know, don't think that you're here to wake people up. And even if you think that, don't try too hard. If you're trying to awaken someone, also be trying to awaken. Also be trying to awaken your soul. Don't just be focusing on others. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to wait. Because what happens is that you stop growing. That's another problem. You see, those who become pastors, for an example, you find that they're leading a lot of people. They stop growing themselves. Why? Because they are focusing on making others grow. They're like, I found the truth, that's it. Now I want you to see what I see. So they stop growing. So you see that they'll be wasting their energy. You need to be growing. And if there are people who want to grow with you, that's beautiful. Like me, for example, I have a YouTube channel. People are interested in growth, real growth. So they watch my videos. We're growing together. I'm not looking at myself and like, oh, I got it, and follow me. And like, nah. We are thinking in ways that help us evolve and that give us a better chance of setting ourselves free, because we are asking the right questions. You hear what I'm saying? We're doing something that the majority of people are not doing. Very few people are doing what we're doing. Like, very few people in this room are actually doing what we're doing. A lot of people are just, I don't know, just living their lives. That's why when you try to ask them what they think is actually going on, they can't tell you anything, really, because they don't even think about this kind of things. So you want to take them seriously, like, yeah, they're real and all of that. Like, focus on your own awakening. You could be speaking to stones, bro, thinking that you're speaking to real conscious people. Like, focus on you. You mustn't let this matrix consume your soul completely. It's already doing that, but it's not like you can still wake up. It's like if you have a virus, you don't allow that virus to destroy your immune system completely. Don't allow this virus to consume your soul completely. You must try your best to wake up. Try your best to figure out what is real, what really makes sense to believe, what makes sense to take seriously. One of the most important things that you must try to do is take your power back. What do I mean? You need to stop doing things because you're seeking for approval, right? Because you're like, you want other people to say you're on the right path, or other people to congratulate you, or to say, yeah, you are sane, or you're one of us, or we admire you, and all that. It must never ever be about other people. That is super important. It must be about your own liberation. Like, I'm making this decision for my own liberation. You don't agree with me, I can't make you agree with me. We are not the same. We are not experiencing this reality the same way. You are experiencing what you're experiencing. So why should I give you that much power? I'm not saying be arrogant. I'm saying don't, like, if you feel like your opinion really makes sense, don't take someone so seriously that you take their opinion more seriously than you take yours. Like, yeah, that person must be right because that's a scientist, so I must trust them. Use your own discernment, because you are the only one that you can trust at the end of the day. You can listen to all these people talking about reality, claiming to be experts. There are a lot of people that have wives being interviewed claiming to be experts, this one is the physicist, this one is a scientist, this one is a neurologist, this one is a philosopher with this kind of qualifications, and you find out they're talking nonsense. It's you. You only trust you. You don't even trust God. Like, seriously, if something comes to this realm and says God, you don't even trust it. It can lie to you. It can manipulate you. I mean, when you're dreaming, you think it's all real until you wake up. So obviously, you can be manipulated in this realm. It's something that is very common. It's something that you know happens. It's something that you've seen happen. So you can't say it makes sense for you to give your power to other if you don't even know what other is. or if Ada has your best interest at heart. I think the mistake that I've made and that most of us have made is to give our power away. Let's take a short break. I don't know how many times I've said this. I've actually said it many times. Your truest power, believe it or not, your truest power is detachment, attention. That's just like, do you understand that you can tell yourself anything? You have that kind of power. When I first started taking solipsism seriously, I was trying to heal myself. I had been through so much that I'm like, this whole thing is not real. And it did help me. But I started to, after healing, I started to ask myself how the world would be if I was actually the only one here, if I was the only soul that's trapped here. I started to think about solipsism so philosophically. I'm like, damn man, like this is crazy because it actually does make sense. As crazy as it sounds, it actually makes sense. But you can believe anything. You don't have to believe anyone in this room. That's what I'm saying. That's your truest power, man. It's your power to detach from any belief, from anything really. It's you paying attention to what you want to pay attention to and paying no attention to whatever you don't want to pay attention to. You have that kind of power. That's the power of consciousness itself. If I close my eyes, I won't be seeing what I'm saying. And even if I think about what I don't want to think about, I can be like, this is nonsense. I want to think about something else. One of the biggest problems is that we never trained ourselves to be mindful. What do I mean? We have not trained ourselves to control our own minds. To be like, okay, this is what I want to think about. Or this is interesting to think about. Like we let our minds wander. Like we've given away control completely. But like, yeah, I want to think about what my ex did to me. You know, she did that, and not that you even tell yourself that. You just find yourself thinking about it, and you just think about it, and you think about it, you think about it, you think about it, and it ruins your whole day. But you do have the power to say, you know what, that's nonsense, and I can't think about things that make me feel better. Like literally, I can't think about things that actually make me feel better. I don't have to think about what she did. What if I think about a time when I won something? What if I think about a time when I tried to do something and I was successful? What if I can think about a time when I was really proud of myself? What if I can try to imagine things happening the way that I want them to happen? You do have that kind of power. And sometimes you forget. And the real problem is that you have given your power away. Like you don't know what your truest power is, so you gave it away. You let other people tell you what reality is. You let other people tell you what is important, what to take seriously. And I do understand why. I mean, you grew up in a realm where you were punished when you took your own path. Your own parents punished you. Like, yeah, you're wrong. Yeah, go to school. Do this. You trust your teachers. Your teachers are always right and all of that. So it's a lot of work to try to like deprogram your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that's gonna be easy. It's not something that's gonna be a walk in the park. It's something that's gonna be extremely difficult. The Matrix knew what it was doing. But it's up to you. Thank you all guys for watching this video until the end. Like the video, share the video, tell me what you think about the video. Let us keep on growing, let us keep on evolving, let's keep on reaching high levels of consciousness. Thank you.